Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I can't believe we're halfway through the school year and I just remember this last summer making all the plans and worrying about what curriculum to get and just can't believe that we're halfway through the year. So today I wanted to share a real mid-year homeschool update. So I wanted to talk about what's working in our homeschool, what's not working so well, and what we're changing as we complete the second half of this year. Hey, friends, welcome back to Faith and Fairways Homeschool. I'm Renee, and I am a mom of three boys. My oldest is grown now, but I homeschool our other two sons. One of my boys is a teen, and the other one is a preteen, but my other one turns 13 really soon. So I'm fixing to have two teenage boys in the house, and I like to share real homeschool encouragement with you, especially if you're juggling academics and sports and um, faith and just everyday life. So I'm doing something a little different. This video is part one of a mid-year homeschool check-in series. So if this is something that you need right now, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. And would you hit that like button? I'd appreciate it. So, as I said earlier, we are officially halfway through our homeschool. So, this is just about the time that I let worry. I look through all the different curriculums and all of our just books and kind of all our plans that I had made before the year started. And sometimes if I haven't met like a certain goal or haven't got to something, it's hard not to let the panic kind of set in. But as I've homeschooled, honestly, throughout the years, and I guess I'm more seasoned, if some would say, um, doesn't get the best of me anymore. But I definitely like to kind of revamp and make sure that we are where we need to be. And if not, kind of tweak it and just make sure that we get the things that are the most important. And I know, especially sometimes at the beginning of the year, I have all these additional books and maybe like our nature journal. I had all these huge plans for our nature journal, and like the intention's so good, and I do want to do it, but I just feel like, you know, things happen. The math lessons, this is for real, the math lessons take double the time that they used to take. Science, just some subjects just take longer than I anticipated, and that's okay because we don't have a rigid pace we have to stick to, but at the same time, I do want to get through all the important things and touch on the things that are most important. So it's also the time to kind of look back at some of the curriculums that I just add in, and then I'm like, is this working? Is it something that takes top priority, or can it kind of fall by the wayside? And then, we could pick it up another year. If it's just a book, we could do that over the summer. We tend to make plans over the summer, and we usually meet about half of um, we usually finish about half of what we plan to do in the summer. It just gets busy, but just kind of reevaluate and go over our order of importance with all of our school subjects. So I thought I'd start with telling y'all what is working. So something that seems to be working really, really well for this year is that we kind of have two different daily schedules that we'll follow. So one of them is we will start with like our math. And I think it just kind of depends on when we get up, when we get going. So on a day that maybe took longer to get going in the morning, the boys will start their math first, and then we will flow into our um, morning basket stuff, which is our Bible, our apologetics, and maybe like our read aloud, anything extra. Our history is a part of that. Um, so that's one way that we like to start our mornings. The other is when we get going and we get started on time to go ahead and just start with the morning basket or morning. Mine is actually a cart. So our morning cart, and we are so enjoying the Bible recap. It is so good. And for the most part, you read 3 chapters every day. And so I'm not on the day that she's on. It's Tara Cobble is her name. And because we don't do it on the weekends, we should probably. But so I just mark off the days as we go. And it's so good. And so we just started First Samuel, and we just read basically the 3 chapters every day, and we take turns reading aloud. That works out really good for us with there being 3 of us. And then she has a like a podcast, and she talks about what we just read. And so that's really helpful to answer any kind of questions that we may have had. Um, really, really, really loving that. The other thing I'm really loving, and it's taken us longer to go through it. I thought we would have finished it by now, but as the BJU, I think it's like Basics for a Biblical Worldview. So good. I mean, we have slowed down on it before, and then I'll feel like some days we just have so much to do that we may hold off on it for that day. But it is so good. Like, I don't want that to end. It's just been really, I've learned so much. Anyway, it's really good. We all are really enjoying it. The other thing that's working is before lunch or after lunch, we will kind of try to do a 5-minute tidy. This is not really school, but we will kind of pick up and everybody kind of do their chore. And I just feel like that's been nice to keep the house somewhat feeling put together. And it's been an easy way to incorporate that into our day, to take 5 or 10 minutes, set a timer. And then with 3 of us working, that's 15 to 30 minutes, yeah, depending on if you do 5 or 10 minutes. That's a lot of work in a short amount of time. So that has been so great. Pretty much, I still like all of our curriculum choices. I will say that my son, who's doing Algebra 1, he's kind of flown through the course. So I thought that we would almost be finishing that by now as well. And we haven't finished it. And um, it's just getting harder. And the problems are longer, there's more steps involved. So, again, it's not a bad thing because, we're still able to go at his pace. And really, he wouldn't take Algebra 1 until next year, anyways. And so I feel like as long as we are, being good stewards of our homeschool and doing it at least 4 days a week, that it's okay. And so, what else? Mid-year motivation can be tough, and the excitement from the new school year has worn off, and just some days just feel chaotic and hard, and it just feels harder to stay consistent. Honestly, for my family, we've had to work around some sickness, some great things, some just energy levels, and sometimes just life. So some weeks look great, and then some weeks are definitely more chaotic. And honestly, I just feel like that's just real life, and that's okay. So moving forward for the rest of the year, I'm not um I'm not going to lower our expectations, but I am going to try to be more realistic about our days. And if it's a day that we just need to go to the hospital to see my grandmother, you know, it's okay to drop a couple of subjects that day. I just feel like in the big scheme of things, it's not going to mess up our whole year. And even as a seasoned homeschool mom, I struggle with that sometimes. I am continuing to push independence on my boys where it makes sense, and just reminding myself that homeschooling is a long term investment. And I just have to remind myself that adjusting our schedules, adjusting our curriculums, it does not mean that we're failing. It just means that we are paying attention. So, if you are watching this and you are feeling behind or discouraged, I just wanted to remind you that mid year struggles are real and they're normal. You're not behind, you're not failing your children. You're just learning what works for your family. And throughout, like I said, the 10 years, there's some seasons where I just feel like, oh man, we have it all together. We are so good at this. And then there's some seasons where we're just barely holding our head above water. Um, but it's all been sweet. Um, even even when things are kind of feel tricky. Um, I don't know, it just all works out. So I hope this video is encouraging. And in the comments, I would love to know how your mid-year is going. Are you feeling strong and ready to tackle the rest of the school year, or are you needing to tweak and change a few things too? And again, I wanted to share that this is part one of a mid year check in series. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see y'all next week. Bye. This is Georgie, and she doesn't like the camera, and she hides from my phone. George. Hi, Georgie. Don't do that on camera, sister. Hi. See, here I am. I'm a fluff muffin. Isn't she cute?